Hi there! I'm coming to you today for Watch It Wednesday to show you how to make a card that I made some time ago. Been asked a few times. I don't actually have a copy of it right now. I will obviously put up a photo of it and I'll link to the original post, but it was the Beauty Abounds card that I made for my Amy Cohender's blog hop. So I'm going to just start with this one. And now you can see I'm just going to cut this out just normal. As you would, and that's just on 1/4 of an A4 sheet. Run it through and I'm going to run it back again. As you can see, he's all cut out here. Hopefully he's cut well. This is a quite delicate die, so you may need to add extra shims or run it through some extra times, or if you have a precision plate, that's also a really good idea to use. I'm just going to quickly pop these out. I've recently cleaned my craft room, so of course I can't find anything today, and my die brush is one of those things that seems to be AWOL. So I'm just using a pair of tweezers here to pop all our little bits out. I just wanted to see this one so you can see exactly what it looks like when he's popped out. Come on, all the little tiny bits. Of course, this one doesn't want to come. Give me a little tear. There we go. Oh my goodness, it does not want to come through. Alright, we've got all the bits. So now you can see this is what it looks like when it's all popped out. So that's how the die works normally. Now in my original card that you will be able to see on that page, you'll notice that they have a layer in behind that fills in those gaps. And this is what I've had a lot of people ask me how to do. So I'll move this guy out of the way. So I'll just take my piece of black card. I'm just going to take some ordinary packing tape. And then I'm just going to cover the back of this cardstock with the packing tape. Yep, okay, that's a bit crooked. Don't need it hanging over, so I'm just going to quickly trim that across. Right, so there's my cardstock. So I'm going to put it so that that packing tape, that's the packing tape side there, I'm going to pop that downwards. And then I'm going to put the die on top, like that. and I'm going to run it through again. Now, as you can see, I don't have a big shot, so just put it on whatever your normal die cut setting would be. Right, just run it through. Actually, this is a tiny bit tighter than my normal setting, but it'll do it the same, all the same. You can see now if I take this off, it looks as though it's embossed into there, but it actually has cut. You'll see some areas around the side have. Now what I do is I just take my scissors and trim in to that first cut, and then I can just gradually tear off that outside. There might be a few spots you might get stuck, so that's a little bit tight there. Anywhere that you do get stuck, or you're a bit worried, like around those little antennas, cut off that excess, and you can come in again nice and gently and pull out those bits in between. I'll do the same on this side. I don't want to tear off these antennae, so I'm going to pull that around. I'll come back and I'll tidy up those in a second. I'm trying to do this without putting my hands in the way so you can actually watch this tear. So all you got to do is just gradually move the butterfly one way, the back of the cardstock the other, and they will just, that tear will tear, and that outside area will come off. And if it's sticking a bit, just go in with your scissors. Don't be afraid to get the worst of it and then come back and tidy up after. Like that, get that. Now you can see here, I have an area here that's not cut out. If that's in focus. Let's see if I get to focus for you. There we go. So this area here hasn't cut out, so all I'm going to do is come in with my scissors, just trim a tiny bit to get it started, and then I can just work that around nice and gently in there. Come in on this side as well, so I don't want to lose the base of his wing. But hold one side and then just tear the other side away. There we go. And of course you can always tidy with your scissors, your snips as well if you need to. So I'm going to do in there, I'm just going to snip that. Side's already done, so I'll just want the other side. That's why you've got to be real careful, it's just around those little antennae. They will obviously be fragile, as you would expect. A pair of tweezers often helps too, if you need to get into any small areas, or hold any little areas. There we are, we're all done. As you can see, now have our butterfly with his bits still in the center. So then when we lay this one over the top, it'll line up perfectly onto the other die cuts, and it will give us a little background. That piece out. Come on, one little dot that doesn't want to come out. There we go. Now you would think I would have learnt the first time and I would have used some glue sheets on the back of these, adhesive sheets, would have made it much easier. So my glue's a bit thick, so I'm just going to see if I can get rid of that. I'll grab another bottle. Oh, that's a bit better. You don't need to glue every tiny little piece. Just really want to make sure you've got the main areas covered. I do like to do the little antennae. Yes, if you have adhesive sheets, I definitely recommend adhering them to your back of your cardstock first. And save yourself a lot of effort. Right, so then we just line him up on top of the other one. Now I've pre-cut the other layer from Highland Heather. So I'll do the same with that, just run around the very main areas. Another way you could do this is to put, do this with a sponge, with a dauber. Pop a little bit of glue onto your block and use your dauber to just dauber across. Of course, I'd recommend doing that on some scrap paper if you're going to do that. And we'll line him up again. I really like to start with one end and get him down and then push him down a little bit, and the others just sort of float and sit above until you sort of come through and gradually move them and stick them down. There we are. Finish this onto our card. So I've got a Highland Heather base here, then a gorgeous grape layer. Now this layer is only 3mm smaller on one side than your actual base. So what I'm going to do is line it right up over at this edge. So it just leaves the slightest amount of colour there. My nails are filthy. I just got home from work and I quickly jumped on to do this today. And now this layer is 3mm smaller again. So again, we're lining it all up on that one side, That should leave us a nice little strip down that side. And now of course we've got a nice big area here to work with because there's no cutouts, and this Tombow will hold this fine. But again, you could, if you wanted to, you could use the adhesive sheets on here as well. Might make it a little bit harder though in cutting out that outside layer. Here we are. And now to finish this card, just punched one of these. Now I'm lining it up at the base there, just at the corner points, so I don't want a full piece. And then you should actually use my trimmer for this. I'm going to grab my trimmer. I'll just pop a little piece of tape on this side so I can hold it. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'll line those points up with that track and cut that extra bit off. Now I have a tiny little label. I'm not used to stamping up here. A little hello. Okay, I can't really find many dimensionals, that's fine. That's why we should never clean our craft rooms, ever, ever, ever. I don't even know if I was in screen when I stamped that. I certainly hope I was, guys. Sorry, I'm really not used to this setup at all. I'm still waiting on a new stand. Generally, it's very awkward to fit my die cut machine under my camera. So I don't generally actually die cut on film. I'm hoping to get a new camera soon, so that will fix that. Okay, now we'll just add a little bit of bling to it. Just kind of grabbing the first one I see here, if it wants to behave. It's one of these silver four-setted gems. There we are. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you learnt something from that. See ya.